This morning's word is for the woman still waiting on a prayer she's afraid God has stopped hearing. The one who's been asking for the same thing so long she whispers it now, half expecting the silence right back. Baby, you know the prayer. You've prayed it in the car. You've prayed it in the shower. You've prayed it with your face in the pillow so nobody would hear you begging. And morning after morning the answer hasn't come, and a quiet, tired thought has started moving in. Maybe he isn't listening anymore. Maybe I've worn out my welcome up there. If that's you this morning, the woman still knocking on a door heaven seems to have gone quiet behind, don't scroll past your own name. Stay right here. This word was written for the wait. It was written. Let me be honest with you the way somebody who loves you would. Before I say one comforting thing, I'm not going to tell you the waiting isn't as hard as it feels. It's been long. It's been lonely. And unanswered is its own kind of heavier some mornings than a flat-out no. Because at least a no lets you stop hoping. You've been holding the hope and the disappointment in the same two hands, and it is wearing you down. So I won't rush you past that. And hear me, daughter. If this waiting has pulled you somewhere dark, if you've started to wonder whether anything you do even matters, if the silence has gotten heavier than you can carry by yourself, this word is real encouragement, but it is not a substitute for help. Let a safe person carry some of this with you, your pastor, a counselor, a doctor. There is no shame in that. There is strength in it. Now, hear this next part all the way down. The silence you've been reading as absence is not the same thing as absence. If the woman God is still making you could sit down across from you this morning, she would not tell you the wait was short. She wouldn't lie to you like that. She lived this exact silence. And here is what she'd say. She'd say, I remember thinking God had filed my prayers somewhere and forgotten the drawer. I remember getting quieter with him because it started to feel foolish to keep asking for the same thing. And I won't sell you a fairy tale. I'm not going to tell you he answered on the calendar day I wanted, or that the waiting suddenly made sense overnight. That is not what happened. What happened is slower and so much truer than that. I found out he had been near the whole time I thought he was far. I found out the silence was not him ignoring me. It was him holding me while he did a work my eyes could not see yet. The prayer I was sure he forgot, he had already bent all the way down to hear. Daughter, he was never once not listening. And there is one line in Scripture the woman God is making you goes back to every single time the wait starts whispering that he stopped hearing. Here is the line she keeps. It's in Psalm 40, and you have to hear where David is standing when he writes it. He is not writing from the easy part. He's a man who knows what it is to wait, looking back on a season down in a pit, and he opened the whole psalm with this, Psalm 40, verse 1. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. Sit with that middle part, daughter. Now, this is your auntie talking, not the verse. Hear what it says and what it does not say. He inclined to me. Inclined. That word means he leaned down. Picture it. Not a God standing far off with his arms crossed, waiting for you to pray it better. A God who bent all the way down, the way you lean down close to hear a child who can barely get the words out. He didn't just hear your cry from a distance. He came down to the level of it. And notice what David does not say. He does not say the answer came the very next morning. He says he waited patiently and long. But the whole time he was waiting, he was heard. Baby, being heard and getting your answer on your schedule are two different things, and God has already given you the first one. You are not praying into an empty room. So before you go back out there and pick that waiting back up, let's set it down for just a second on purpose. Put your hand over your heart, over the place that's been bracing for silence, and say the thing the weight has been trying to talk you out of. Not just in your head, out loud or down in your spirit if the house is still sleeping. Say your own name first, gentle, the way God leans down to say it. Then say, I have not been praying into an empty room. He inclined to me and he heard my cry. Say, his silence is not his absence. He is doing what I cannot see. Now breathe, daughter. Slow. You are allowed to rest in the waiting instead of bracing through it. The woman God is making you already knows how this wait ends. Full 9 fullness. You are only catching up to her this morning. So here is your word, sealed. You came in this morning half believing your prayer had gone unheard. Hear the truth sealed over it, daughter of the King. Carry these 3 things into your day. 1, the silence is not absence. He inclined to you and he heard your cry. 2, being heard and being answered on your schedule are 2 different gifts, and he has already given you the first. 3, you are not praying into an empty room. You never once were. Leave the prayer with the one who bent down low to hear it, baby. He has not forgotten the drawer. He has not gone quiet on you. He is near. You are his, and that settles it. Sit with one question today, daughter. What is the one prayer you've almost stopped praying that God has been leaning down to hear all along? Tell me down in the comments. I read them like letters back, and come back tomorrow for the woman who's quietly afraid she's already missed her season, that the best of her life somehow slipped by while she was busy holding everything together. Come back for it, the way you'd come back to prayer.